A U.S.-penned resolution that declared an immediate and sustained ceasefire in Gaza as imperative failed in the United Nations Security Council on Friday, despite an 11-3 vote in support, due to the vetoes of permanent members Russia and China. The fourth time the Council has failed to pass a ceasefire resolution since the Israel-Hamas war began. Thomas-Greenfield said it was outrageous and below the dignity of this body that Russia and China have still not committed to a resolution condemning Hamas' October 7 attack. She accused the countries of being petty, noting, "Russia and China simply did not want to vote for a resolution that was penned by the United States because it would rather see us fail than to see this council succeed." It's not clear when the next vote on a potential ceasefire resolution could take place, however. Russia and China both signaled support for an alternative draft resolution circulating among diplomats from Algeria, which also voted against the U.S. resolution. Speaking at the Council hearing Friday, Algerian Ambassador Amar Bendjama said that the U.S. resolution avoided mentioning the responsibility of Israel in the deaths of civilians and argued the Arab world needed assurances that Israel be held accountable. France has also signaled it would draft a new resolution. The U.S. vetoed 3 prior resolutions that called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, most recently vetoing an Algerian-backed proposal in February. U.S. officials had previously called for a temporary ceasefire and conditioned a pause in fighting on the release of Hamas-held hostages, and in February, Thomas-Greenfield expressed concern that an unconditional ceasefire could hamper ongoing negotiations between Israel and Hamas. But Friday's resolution represented the biggest public shift in the U.S. attitude toward a ceasefire yet, with language calling for an immediate and sustained ceasefire with no explicit conditions. The resolution vote comes as Israel continues to signal its intention to invade the Gazan town of Rafah, which world leaders have said could lead to a humanitarian disaster as scores of Palestinians are sheltering in Rafah due to fighting elsewhere in the Gaza Strip. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as part of his efforts to push for a ceasefire amid ongoing negotiations in Qatar. Following the meeting, Netanyahu wrote on X that he told Blinken that Israel appreciated U.S. support but, despite U.S. warnings to the contrary, Israel will continue its plans to enter Rafah. Blinken reportedly warned Netanyahu that Israel's place in the world was in peril and, "You might not realize it until it's too late," urging the country to come up with a coherent plan for after the war, according to Axios.